Okay team, it's a new day, a new 15 minutes on the clock. We're going to do a really lovely ab set today. So we're going to do 15 minutes, complete abs, nothing needed other than yourselves and your mat. And I want you to start off coming into this mermaid-esque position. You're going to bring one hand down to the floor. We're going to push up on the knees and stretch out through the waist and then lower the hips back down. So it's going to be quite a dynamic, flowy little set, this one. So just push up and down. Feel that lovely stretch into the waist as you reach that arm up and over. Good. We're going to do one more on this side. And one and down. You're going to switch your legs across. So come into that little W shape on this side, hand down to the mat, and then press the knees up, release. Press up and release. Really try and push this hip forward so you get that stretch all the way into the front of the hip there as well. Two more here for one. Good. And two. Release, come back down. I want you to bring the soles of your feet together. Draw your heels into your pelvis. Tuck those elbows into your knees and just gently ease yourself forward. So stretching out the inner thighs. A little pulse here if you want to, or just hold that stretch, whatever feels nice for you. And then release. We're going to spin around onto our sides to begin with. So I want you to prop yourself up on your elbow. Remember, we're trying to create that triangular space from the elbow to the hip to the armpit, so not sinking down, lifting up. Knees are bent, and see if you can just bring your knees a little bit further back so that they're a bit more in line with your hips. We're going to press up into a side plank and release. So from the knees, up and down. So these little hip dips. So working back into the waist again. Good. Keep lifting and lowering. Readjusting that elbow if you need to make sure that it's underneath your shoulder. We've got one more like this. Then we're going to come up and we're going to hold. So we're going to lift and we're going to hold. If you want to extend this top leg, you can. If you want to lift this top arm up, you can. Really try and create that nice big gap and space between yourself and the mat. We're going to hold for two and one. We're going to release. We're going to do the same on the opposite side. So spin yourself around. Get yourself into that position. So elbow tucked, knee stacked, hips stacked. So try not to roll back or forwards too much. When you're ready, you're going to lift and lower. Lift and lower. You've got it. So keep lifting and lowering back down. We're trying to go for nice, smooth, controlled movements here. So we're not letting gravity do the work for us. We are in control. One more like this. And then we're going to come up and we're going to hold. Lift, extend that arm. If the hold doesn't feel good for you, feel free to keep on with the hip dips. Option to extend that top leg if you want to. And we're going to hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the hips back down to the floor. I want you turning over onto your back. So either coming onto your side and rolling down, or using your hands and lowering yourself down, whatever works. You're going to walk your feet in towards your bottom. And I just want to take a moment and do a couple of little pelvic tilts here. So readjust the waistband on your leggings, move your hair out of the way, get comfortable in your mat because we're going to be on our backs now for a little set. And then stop somewhere in the middle of those two movements. Okay, take your arms nice and wide. So maybe not all the way out like a scarecrow, but maybe at 45 degrees. So you're opening up your chest, you're sinking your shoulder blades into the floor. We're going to come into some toe taps. Option to keep one foot on the floor. Single leg toe taps. Knee, remember, only comes up as far as your hip and then gently releases back down. Or come into tabletop and alternate. You want to be able to maintain your core kind of integrity. So what I mean by that is not lifting your lower back away from the mat, not bulging, not doming, not pulling on that lower spine. If you're doing a single leg, you can switch sides. Good. Breathe these through. Remember, we're trying to tap down as lightly as we can. We've got 3, 2, and 1. Release both feet to the floor, and then you're going to allow your knees just to roll to one side. Keep your chest facing up to the ceiling, shoulders pinned down to the floor. Hold it here. Release, come back through center. Bring the knees into your chest. Bring yourself into a little squeeze or a hug. Good. Gently release back down, feet back down to the floor, and then knees roll onto the opposite side. Beautiful. Holding here. And then again, coming back through center. We're going to go back into the taps, but we're going to tap out to the corner of our mat. So if you were doing a single leg, stick on your single leg and tap out again at a 45-degree angle. So to the corner of your mat. You'll feel it coming into your side glutes, but I promise you that you're still working through your midline. If you bring your hands up onto your stomach, you'll feel it there. Or you're alternating your legs. Good. If you're doing a single side, switch sides. If you're alternating, keep on alternating. Beautiful. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release, take the legs long, bring the arms up overhead. That lovely big full body stretch. Hold it here. Breathe into it. For 2 and 1. Release. You're going to bring yourself up onto your elbows. So I want you to prop yourself up onto your elbows. And again, instead of sinking into your mat, lift your chest and lean forwards. From here, you're going to walk your feet back in. We're going to take it into some bicycle legs. So you can do this again, just as we would do if we were laying down. Knees close into the torso. Or you can make it slightly trickier by taking the legs further away, keeping them long. Let's point those toes. Beautiful. And then I want you to reverse it. This is the mind part of the workout. Let's take it into a backwards pedal. For 3, 2, and 1. You're going to release both feet down to the floor. Prop yourself up onto your wrists. From here, you're going to push up into a reverse, whatever this is. Something in reverse. So you're coming up. So if you can see your reflection, having a look across the screen, you want to see if you can get a flat surface, like a table. Option here to add in a little walkout without dropping your hips. Tricky. If not, just stay here. Breathe it through. For 3, 2, and 1. Release your bottom down to the floor and fold yourselves forwards into a stretch. Good. Take a moment here. And then from here, we're rolling back over onto our side. So back up onto the elbow, knee bent. Again, just stack those hips, so don't let it roll back. Stack the hips. We're going to press up into side plank. Good. Take the arm up overhead this time, the leg long. Good. Option to either hold, to lift and lower if you need to come down, or to add in a leg lift. Good. Just breathing through. Good. For 3, for 2, and 1. Release, come back down to the hips, to the floor. Give that shoulder a roll through if you need to. Keep this arm extended. We're going to come into our side crunch. Option to do this from the mat, or to press yourself back up into side plank and to do it from side plank. Good. Squeeze in and release. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release the hips back down. Bring both hands to the mat. Push yourself over onto all fours. Sink into child's pose, taking your knees slightly wider if you need to. Take a moment here, breathe through. And then exhale, push yourself up to all fours. Bring your knees back in. Let's take it into some cat-cows. Just a chance to sink back up with our breathing a little bit. So see if you can do a breath with each movement. 2, and 1. Press back into your child's pose stretch. And then when you're ready, spin yourself around onto your opposite side, so whichever side you didn't just work. Prop yourself up, come from your knee, exhale up, arm up overhead. Option to lift and lower. option to lift and hold, or option to add in your leg lift. I'm throwing a few different things your way because I know that you'll choose the option that works for you. Good. Let's go 3, 2, and 1. Lower those hips, give that shoulder a little roll out if you need to. And then we're coming into that overhead crunch. So either from down on your hips, here, working into your waist, squeeze, release, or pressing back up, squeeze and release. Good. Keep going for 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then push yourself over onto all fours, take those knees wide, sink into child's pose, forehead to the mat. Relax the backs of your forearms down to the mat. Breathe through. We've got one more little set. When you're ready, exhale, come back up to all fours. So bring those wrists back underneath your shoulders. And then we're going to flex our toes. So from here, I want you to push off into a little hover plank, option to lift and lower, or option to lift and hold. Back stays nice and flat. You're lifting that belly button up. You can tap down with your knees lightly, but don't let your bottom get higher. See if you can keep your neck long. We're going to 1, come down to the knees, unhook the toes, press back. And then we're going to finish into plank. So into plank, your options are 3/4 plank. Walk your hands forward, dip your hips, hold here. Belly button up. You could do this with a little tap down. Good. You can come onto your forearms and into a forearm plank. Or you could push up onto your wrists and come into a tall plank. All of these plank options are good, so don't think that you're cheating. If you're in 3/4 plank, awesome adaptation. Maybe lift your toes up off the floor. Have a play around with whatever you can hold with good form. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release into child's pose. One more time. And then exhale up to sitting into your nice little mermaid position. So swivel those knees into that W shape. Wrist down to the floor. Exhale, push up. We're going to hold. So hold this stretch. Feel that full length of the stretch from your fingertips, coming down your arm into your shoulder, into your waist, into your hip. Lift those hips. Good. Hold for 2 and 1. Release, come back around. Don't switch sides yet. Feet together, elbows into knees, hinge forwards. Stretch out here. Good. 2 and 1. And now continue the journey of your legs. Wrap them around, hand down to the floor. Exhale, push up, hold, and feel that gorgeous stretch. 50 minutes flies by when we are flowing through a little ab set. Hopefully you felt it in a good way. Let's hold for 2 and 1. And release. Gently, gently. There is no rush here. I want to give your wrists a little roll through. Good. And your shoulders. A little circle back. Reset your posture. Singles, doubles, whatever feels good. Maybe take your chin to your chest and send it around in a single loop in one direction and a single loop in the other. And then give it everything. Just a little shimmy out because we are done. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that. As always, leave me a comment. Let me know how you got on. If there are any moves that you're not sure on, let me know. And I will see you all again for the next one. Take care.